What's up, Boulder, Colorado?
I don't need you to slap me on my back because I'm good because my arms can reach back there. But I really just want you to understand these decisions are based on knowledge.
Today we've got several great news stories for you, so we're going to make like a pay raise and try to make your day absolutely epic. Our main story today is about Travis Hunter achieving something which is pretty sweet, and I think you guys will all enjoy. We're also going to talk about Deion Sanders Jr. throwing some shade at late-round players in the NFL draft, opting out of bowls, and then maybe another story or two that you will like. So grab you a cup of Dunkin' Donuts, sit back, and get ready because this is the prime time for college football. Now, our first story today, we're going to talk about Travis Hunter's epic achievement. Recently, Fox Sports posted their top 10 plays of the year in college football, and Travis Hunter found himself at number 9 on the list. Now, I'll show you that clip very quickly, let you see that. It was an absolute moss job that he pulled off in this game. The catch was completely epic. He clearly sacrificed his body to pull that down. I don't know if you guys remember it or not, but he was actually injured on that play. He ended up walking it off and being fine, but he absolutely went up in a pretty unnatural position, went over 2 defenders. The ball, no shots at Shedeur, was maybe a tad bit underthrown, but that didn't matter. When you throw the ball up and Travis Hunter's in the area, there's a great chance that he's going to come down with it. Now, he gets part of Fox's top 10 plays of the year for that catch, but I want to ask you guys, what were some of your favorite plays from this season? I can remember a lot just off the top of my head. I'll tell you, the 4th down stop against TCU is pretty high up there. I don't know if there was another time throughout the year that I was more hyped than I was when that happened. Some of those touchdowns that Edwards ran against TCU were certainly up there. Travis Hunter's catch there was up there for me. Some of those big plays, some of the fumbles against Nebraska were up there for me. Obviously, the very end of the Colorado State game was very high up there for me. There were a lot of exciting plays, a lot of exciting things that went down. Even in some of the later games that didn't go our way, there was some pretty spectacular stuff that happened. Man, there were some highlights in that USC game, if you remember them. A lot of fun stuff that happened this year from an individual play perspective. Obviously, we all wish the record would have been a little bit better, but it got me to thinking, what do you guys think about that play that they just showed, the Travis Hunter catch, making Fox Sports' top 10? And then second, what was your favorite play this year? What was your favorite play or moment or memory or thing that you saw happen on the field for the Buffs? Now, let's talk about Deion Sanders Jr. and his thoughts on late rounders, NFL kids opting out of bowl games. Now, recently, Jr. posted this on Twitter. He said, "Boys opting out of bowl games that aren't even top 3 rounds. That's wild." I've got mixed emotions on this. I've got mixed thoughts on this, but I'd also like to hear what you guys think about it and certainly try and get your perspective on what he said here and what he is meaning here. I think a little bit of it is kind of understandable. You haven't really seen guys in late rounds opt out like this, and it is certainly something that's new within college football. It's not necessarily something we've ever really seen before. Even 5, 6, 7 years ago, top round guys weren't opting out. It's a relatively new thing within college football. But when you've got guys that are later round guys, 5th, 6th, 7th round guys opting out, I don't blame them. It's to protect the bag. But it is interesting to see that because obviously they're protecting a much smaller bag at that point. But it is more common these days. And so it definitely is weird to me that it's happening. It's different. It's strange. We've not necessarily seen it before, but at the same time, I understand it. If you had an opportunity to go out and protect the bag, I certainly think that that is something that you are well within your own rights to do. Not everyone does it. There are some teams that don't have barely any opt-outs. There are other teams that have a ton of opt-outs. Jaden Daniels opted. There are a lot of teams that have opt-outs right now. There are some quarterbacks that are going to go high. There are some quarterbacks that are going to go low that have opted out and are not playing in their bowl games. But I think the bigger picture here is that bowl season used to mean something, and it's becoming less and less and less meaningful. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. But if you don't believe me, just look at the players. Just look at the teams. Just look at the kids that are opting out. If bowls mean something, do 6th and 7th and 5th rounders and undrafted free agents, do they opt out of games? Not really. I think that bowls are becoming more and more and more meaningless. And I think as the playoff expands, you'll get more teams into the playoff. You'll get more teams playing deeper into the season, and maybe you'll see less opt-outs. I mean, if nothing else, you'll have 12 teams that guys aren't opting out from. Right now, you probably only have 4 that guys are not opting out from, but maybe that'll help a little bit with the playoff. But I still think teams 13 through 25 and beyond will still see opt-outs. And it's because bowls are becoming more and more and more and more meaningless. Again, you may not agree, but the kids that are opting out certainly agree. The other aspect of this that I don't think we necessarily look at is it is hard to play a 12 or 13 game schedule. It is very difficult on these guys' bodies. Shador didn't make it all 12 games. Travis didn't make it all 12 games for Colorado. And a lot of guys, if they are able to make it through 12 or 13 games, they are playing with a lot. They're playing with a lot of bumps and bruises. They're playing with a lot of injuries. And so for an exhibition game that doesn't really mean anything, do you blame them for opting out if they're really just trying to protect their body that's been banged up and bruised and injured all year? I don't at all. Football is more physical now than it's ever been. It's tougher now than it's ever been. You guys are stronger now than they've ever been, and it's taken more of a toll on guys' bodies. And so I'm not surprised that we see more opt-outs as it goes on. But that's an interesting concept, and it's an interesting thought, and I'm glad that Deion Sanders Jr. brought it up because it is wild. And I don't necessarily know that he's blaming the players. I'm certainly not blaming the players. I think that bowls at this point are pretty meaningless, and guys aren't willing to risk serious injury to play in it. What are your thoughts? I'd love to talk about that down in the comments as well. And I appreciate Deion Sanders Jr. for bringing that up because it is an interesting topic, and it is something that we should be discussing. Now, lastly today, let's talk about Travis Hunter signing a new NIL deal. Recently, he signed an NIL deal with Freeform Sports. Now, per Sports Illustrated, this is a one-of-a-kind partnership that allows this year's Paul Hornig Award winner to be on the Athlete Advisory Council for this 3D printing technology company. Hunter will be able to try out state-of-the-art wristbands and pads as part of the TH12 collection. He'll also give his opinion on how to make the equipment more functional on the field. Again, this is part of the deal when you come to Colorado. This is part of the deal when you're around Coach Prime. You are potentially afforded these kind of opportunities. Now, you need to back it up. You're not seeing, and no offense to this player, the 4th string linebackers doing this. Again, no offense to those kids. You're not seeing the 3rd string long snapper doing this. It is Travis Hunter. It is the best player. I get it. But this is what NIL could potentially do for you in Colorado. This is what the exposure of playing for Coach Prime could potentially do for you if you're on his team, if you're in Boulder. It's another selling point. It's another recruiting tool. It's another transfer portal selling point that Coach Prime can take and use. It's a cool moment for Travis Hunter as well. We know what he's been through. We know the career path, the twists and turns that his career has taken. We've also seen the incredible effort. We've seen the kind of kid that he is in not only forgiveness early in the year against the rivalry game when he was out and lit up pretty good. We also saw how he sent well wishes to Jordan Travis after they were snubbed and he was injured. I think that his character says a lot about him, and you also like to see good things like this happen to kids like Travis Hunter, who works incredibly hard, has really good character, does things the right way, and is absolutely one of the most fun players in all of college football to watch. Love him, hate him, don't like him, don't care, indifferent, doesn't matter. He's one of the most fun players in college football to watch, and just about everybody would agree with that. Nobody's going to argue with you on that. And so it's cool to see him get this honor. I'm excited about the wristbands and pads and the state-of-the-art stuff that he's going to get a say in and get to try out first. Hopefully some of that merch also becomes available so that some of us common folk can check it out and try it as well. Not that I'm going to be running around with pads anytime soon, but my kids love wristbands and stuff like that, so that'll work. Hey, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. A little bit different video today. A couple of different stories that we wanted to talk about. Get your opinion on each of them talk to us down in the comments. Again, started the Patreon. If you haven't signed up for that, again, it's patreon.com/primetime for college football. It will be in the description. The link is right there. You can sign up for less than less than a cup of coffee per month. Go check that out. See if you like it. If not, cancel. No big deal. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you as always for watching the Prime Time for college football.